This is The Bottom Line with Onimwa.
Hello there, and a very warm welcome to your program, The Bottom Line with me, Bunimwa. Today, we shall be highlighting the rough and rugged road taken by Professor Willibroad Dze Ngwa in creating the Heritage University of Peace and Sustainable Development. Professor, you are welcome.
It's a pleasure talking with you, Bonnie.
Yeah, we know that teachers or lecturers do not have enough money to set up universities like you. How did the idea come about? You setting up a university, you would have sat in the comfort of the classroom in the university, doing your consultancies and making money. How did the idea come about in creating a university?
Well, that's a very intriguing question, I should say. Let me run fast to say that I was just about 10 years old when my village parents were shot and killed in front of me in womb. I called that a spoiled New Year's Day. That was around 1981. From then, I realized that why were my parents killed? I started asking many questions, and I realized that people conflict because of the lack of the knowledge of the other. And I decided to engage in research how I should be able to be a solution to the conflicts within my community. And I moved on to do conflict when I attained the university, did research and published, and I realized that the first thing I did was to create an association. This association was called the African Network Against Illiteracy, Conflicts, and Human Rights Abuses, where I thought that the best way to make a contribution to my community in womb was to engage in peace building. This peace building attitude made me to have different scholarship opportunities that I studied out of the country, taught out of the country. And by the time I was coming back, I thought that I should make this dream that I had as a small boy change by making a university institute for peace and development studies. So the idea of transforming the minds and build and peace started as a young boy. I grew through the university system, saw conflicts, moved around the world, and measured conflicts, and I realized that people conflict because of little knowledge of the other. And therefore, if we know other, if we accept the others, if we protect the others, we should be able to plant peace. And that is the idea of the heritage, from an association now to certification, because we started training for free. Small groups, conflicting groups, street children, and all of that. And we said, okay, since people were interested in what we're doing, we decided to create a vocational institution, and then it led to the University Institute.
Setting up a university requires 5 basic requirements. I want us to take them one after the other, and you'll be answering them. When I cite the first one, you see whether you're actually complying with this. The first one is the mission statement. Define the educational philosophy of your institution. What is the mission statement of the institution?
Well, I think the idea is that we have a strong mission statement. We want to professionalize education. We want to make the educational system 60% of practical works and 40% theory. So that is the first thing, because we want the people, our students, to be job creators, not to run around with envelopes in search of jobs.
And the second one now is funding. Funding, you must have to secure substantial financial resources through donations, grants, or loans. Where are your funding? Where are your funds from?
Yeah, I think it would be good to say that we have received funding from nobody when we started initially. When we started our project, before we engaged in this project, we have started a strategy of putting aside 20% of our annual income to be able to start a structure. And when we started this structure, we depended on family, extended family income, where we had, permit me say, my beloved mother had to surrender all of her savings to encourage the project. And of course, the little fees that students pay also enable us. But let me run fast to say that we have not depended only on this exclusively. We distinguish ourselves in research. And let me say that the Friedrich Ebert Foundation actually funded a research project for the institution. It was about 70 million francs, if I might say, where we brought about together more than 100 researchers around the country to engage in research. So funding through research based on our abilities and capabilities have been able provide us the fundings that we have been able to use in this structure.
Yes, and the third and very important one too is regulatory compliance. How do they obtain degree in your institutions? The licensing, accreditation, and cooperation with other universities nationally and internationally.
Yes, let us say that the Minister of Higher Education, Chancellor of the Academic Orders of Cameroon, decided to liberalize the higher education. And by so doing, the liberalization of higher education doesn't mean that any entity, any individual, or any structure can just come on and put up a higher institution. There are regulatory norms because all private institutions, university institutions in Cameroon must be affiliated to, to public universities. We call
For
them for mentorship. And as a matter of fact, we have the Bamenda University, which serves as our mentor. We have the University of Marwa, that is one of our mentors. But we decided not to limit ourselves only with structures. We decided to engage in professional structures. That is why we have the Nico Hale firm, which is one of the biggest legal firm in Cameroon, partnering with us because we wanted to engage in professional structures. We also have international universities or foreign universities. Let me run fast to say that we have just established a relationship with the Southeastern University of Applied Sciences in Southeastern Switzerland, which is supposed to partner with our universities to do hybrid programs, to give scholarships, and actually create what we call the hubs. We've had the opportunity to teach and study in the US. As a matter of fact, I have taught in Savannah State University in Georgia, and we are establishing the relationship. We also have Dickinson College in Carlisle, where we have worked with the students. They used to send some of their students to Cameroon, and we hosted these students. So we are working with these institutions. Let me also say Michigan State University. They had Kathleen, who came here and spent 1 year with us. So we are affiliated um, to Cameroonian and foreign universities for the essence of quality control, because these institutions must be able to check what quality we are putting in place. And I must run fast to say that it was not for nothing that we had to get the Germans come after us to say we can do a joint project and come out with a conflict map of Cameroon. I think those are some of the structures that we are putting.
And infrastructure, when we talk about infrastructure here, it can be physical or virtual. Are you in compliance with this infrastructure aspect of the requirements?
Well, let us note that a modern university system is not the physical structure. It is what comes out from
Physical or virtual?
virtual. It is anything that comes out from either the physical or the virtual. Let me note that we have a strong university institution. We usually count even from the first year that we were born with teeth. That is a structure that can be able to. The first structure is the human structure. As you talk about the human resource here. Who are those who are manning the institution? They are big names. What are their qualifications? They are well qualified. Permit me say that there are some departments where we don't have, where all of the lecturers must be PhD holders, and not only PhD holders, but PhD holders who have distinguished themselves nationally and internationally. So especially, and
Yes, I was coming to that. The faculty, that's the field requirement. Now, the faculty, have you been able to hire qualified staff to man this university? Because it's very important.
yes, of course, I don't know whether I'm qualified myself, but
You are qualified. You are
I
qualified.
haven't gone around the world and haven't taught in several universities in Cameroon and beyond. I don't think that a professor of a university will want to set up anything for a university. The first thing is that we've recruited uh, genuine scholars who are ready not only to make money but to transform little minds to become responsible citizens. Let's think about the persons of Professor Verkiji Kafanso. Let's think about, in short, there are many professors who come here who have been recruited. Professor Fanso is the chairman of the board of directors, and nothing nonsensical can happen under his auspices. And you have some of us as professors. So we have about 6 professors who are teaching here. We have about 12 PhD holders. But don't forget that the mentoring universities, we also use the staff of the mentoring universities to come and give us a helping hand. Every year, we have our university system around the world to bring in our foreign partners. For example, we have Professor Zetlin, who is like our ambassador in Oxford University. He comes in every year and have a talk with our students. So we have many of those foreign lecturers who actually come in to teach. Before I end, we are building on distance learning, virtual learning, and we have professors out there who are actually undertaking some of those courses online. I think that when it comes to the personnel, the list. We don't even encourage it. The least teacher or professor or lecturer here should have at least a master's degree, not a fresh master's degree with some degree of experience in the field. We go to master's degree holders when we are considering the professionals, because don't forget, we are doing professionalization in our educational system, and then we give value to the academicians, to the academics, and to the practitioners. So that is why we insist on 60% of practical work in the field and 40% theory. We have something we call in our institution, which is the sustainability education. That is a program we actually undertook in Carlisle University in the US, and we try to bring it here in our institution, where the students do not acquire their lessons only in classrooms. They go to the field.
I was to come back on this professional aspect of the education. When you talk about professionalism, not every professional will have a master's, a PhD, even a first degree. Because a mechanic, for example, you can go to a garage where there is a renowned and reputed mechanic. He might come to, share his skills, his knowledge with your students. Will you not go for that
You're
because
right.
he's not qualified?
You're right. You're right. As a matter of fact, there is one aspect of the sustainability education which is called internships. And we don't go for those who have the paperwork, the PhDs or the masters. We go for people who have the savoir faire in the ground. Our students for mechanical engineering are actually working with people who are not having master's degrees, but who are very skilled, because the interest here is to get the students have a handful. And permit me say that the students in that department are already doing great. They are already manufacturing things that we can use in our cars, like nuts, like they've come out with machines that can gather depth, right? So it is important to note our ICT is also very strong. We don't get only people who are experts in ICT in terms of papers, but we have people who can be able to conceive and build software. We have a student who has been able to come out with a software that can determine the degree of heat within any given environment. This can be valorized in order to roll back our fire accidents that we have in different facilities.
Since the inception of the Heritage University in 2017, can you tell us how this university has fared so far in terms of student enrollment and the curriculum? How has it fared since 2017?
We so far so good. Let us be very fair here that the curriculum is developed by the state, and every institution follows the curriculum with a strict implementation of it and strict control of our mentoring universities. But each institution has the right to come up with something new. For example, at Heritage University Institute, we encourage all the students, no matter their backgrounds, to have notions of developing projects. We have all the students, they must have notions of developing peace, building, and humanitarian actions on the ground. So we should be able to develop entrepreneurial skills, because at Heritage, we have what we call the Heritage Hubs. Those hubs would be the students of each department upon graduation, they come together and we get experts from each of those departments to be able to get these students to be entrepreneurs. That is why we want them to be able to write projects. A student who graduates with a degree in mechanical engineering should be able to write a project for funding. And of course, permit me say that with the new engagements that we have with the Swedish University of Applied Sciences, is to get these students funded in terms so that they can be able to create employment using their soft power. Now they can transform their soft power, recruit, and get to mechanism that's producing machines. Our vision in that department is that by within the nearest future, we want to be able to start producing tricycles.
And this heritage policy of one student, one free top, and one internet connection, how feasible is that? We know the erratic nature of internet connection in the country. How are you going around this concept?
Yes, we have a slogan here that we say what we mean and we mean what we say. When we started with this policy of one new student, one free laptop, and free internet connectivity, people thought that it was a joke and that we were going to come to a stop within a short period of time. But we have gone on. We are engaging our seventh year. We have given out over 600 laptops free of charge. And the simple reason behind that is that these students need professional education. You cannot do professional education without having the basic tools. And the basic tools is to cause the students to be engaged in individual research. That is why we provide them these basic tools. A free laptop and internet connectivity, because they must be able to connect with our partners out there. Online training, they must be able to do individual research works in their different fields, and that is it. So permit me say, some think that we get these laptops from somewhere for free. I mean, you asked about funding. I want to take this opportunity to say that maybe some friends might decide to say, "Oh, what you're doing is great. You can get an additional laptop and give to this student or that one." But we have not had anybody, any structure, government or non-governmental organization that has given us a single laptop. It comes from our private funds, a family contribution, what I call payback. So we are trying to do a payback to whatever thing is happening within our community.
Let's come back to this. This we are now around the back to school 2024-2025. It is around the corner, and why should student A or student B chose the Heritage University as opposed to another institute? I want you to actually emphasize on it, telling the students why they should come to Heritage University.
Well, I want to run first to say that contrary to what other universities might say, we are teaching Cameroonians, we are teaching human beings, we are following the same curricula developed by the state, but at Heritage, we just try to do the same programs in another way. And this other way would be very affordable fees, where we give the students the free laptops, we give the students free connectivity. I should say for now, it is one of the only institutions in Cameroon that gives with the fee, a fee of not up to 400,000, giving laptops and all of that. Let me say that we are very special because it is not only an institution, it is a philanthropic organization, so to say, because we decide to take care of the physically challenged. Some of the physically challenged virtually do not pay fees. All the orphans pay about 50% of the fees. We have free things that we give out to the students because the idea is that we want to pay back to our community. The idea of beginning the institution was to pay back to that community that has helped to tinker and transform us into whatever we are. So these are some of the things, of course, the opportunities that they have out there. Every student who is schooling, who gets to school at Heritage, by the time we get to the master's level, we are already thinking about creating the jobs. We are actually those who look for where the students are going to do internship. It is not the students who get internship. And we do something special. We get our best students recruited. Permit me say that we have many of our students who are recruited here and there, and they are already assuming very important positions in this country, be it within the international organizations, be it within even the National Assembly of Cameroon, the Senate. Brief, we have our students in the ICT found almost everywhere.
And yes, we know that the Heritage University is a decentralized structure and with campuses here and there. May we know how far you've gone with this decentralization, with the campuses spread? We heard about the one in Womb, maybe Bamenda and other places.
There is anxiety about what Heritage University Institute is dishing out. We should have been found everywhere because the population of Douala, they want us there. In Gaundere, when we're passing, they want us there. But if we had the means, would have been found all about because we are doing concrete things on the ground. We have been adopted in Zamai, in the far north region, as a prince, as a Yerima, because of what we have been able to do within that community. But we cannot open a university there now because we don't have the means. But I did say that village, that town, that enabled me to bear this dream is womb. And that is why we thought that the first campus after Yaoundé should be womb, irrespective of the insecurity situation in the country. We thought that it was high time we pay back to our community. And there the fees is very, very affordable. We realize how expensive things have become when our children leave the Menchum area and go elsewhere. So we thought that welcome relief should be creating the same structure in womb, getting the people in womb, Menchum division and its environment to go and stay in houses at almost no cost, have free food from their farms, and go to school and attain the same results. I think that is the idea of taking it to womb for now. But before long, we are going to extend our hands in the other areas which are attracted to what we are doing on the ground.
Yes, the campus in Womb, I'll come back to this idea, this situation, the conflicts, the insecurity in Womb. How are you managing the insecurity? Have the boys come to see you or threaten you in any way?
Well, for now, no. Um, I think that when you're doing something very genuine, even the detractors will realize that. I should say very clearly that we have not been threatened. Nobody has come to see us, be it the government party, be it the boys, as you call them. They've not come to see us. We want to educate them, everybody, because we
Even
know
the
that
boys, they can
even the
come.
boys, they can come. We can even offer to let them go to school for even free because we know that there is nothing which is more than education. With education, every door can be open. So I think that is the notion we have there, and we are appealing to those who genuinely want to go to school, who do not have the means, complete means, because of course we cannot open the doors since we have to uh, pay the lecturers. We cannot say it is 100% free, but for those who are genuinely in need and want to go to school, the school might be able to give them assistance.
The enthusiasm you said a few minutes ago that has been generated by the campus in Womb. There's this story of this young guy who called this morning has been insisting. What is he insisting on? What I mean, because we want to know the enthusiasm from the students that are about to be enrolled.
Bonnie, I'm glad the young guy was calling while you were there. I think his idea since last night was, I want to register. I have all of my papers. I want to be one of the first graduates from that institution in whom. I think that is it encourages us. It is not because of the money that might be few. Whether we have 5 students, 6 students, 7 students, we are going to train them as we are training the students all over the world. So we want to give them the benefit of doubt that they can stay in their mother's home, eat from their mother's kitchens, and attain global education. So they can live from womb to the world. As I did, I left from womb to the world. I have taught in more than uh, 58 universities. They should be able to do that. So it is a challenge that we must not only be in the city centers to go to universities. I should not be talking only about Heritage University in Womb. I should be talking about all the institutions, higher educational institutions, which are found in the nooks and crannies of this country. We should be able to encourage founders or promoters of these higher institutions who have taken the risk to put some of these institutions, especially where we have the crisis.
Where we are now is just a temporal campus of the Heritage University. Tomorrow, where do we move from here? Because the temporal, I mean, you are being overloaded, as we can say. Where do we move from here?
Well, the ministerial uh, suggestion is that any private institution should have a land surface area of at least 3,000 meters square. I should say that we already procured the land. Everything is on course, and we are pushing forward to be sure that this time next year we should be in our campus, because that campus, we want to call it the campus for engineering. We want to get
And where is
technology.
the campus
It is
situated?
in Yaoundé at the neighborhood of Nomayos. We have the huge campus there, and systematically we are putting things in place so that we actually get to where we want to.
We are coming to the end of this interview, and I would like you to look at the camera, tell the students what you have for them.
Well, I have to invite all of those who passed the GC to say congratulations. Those who are already working and want to go back to schools, we say the doors of Heritage University Institute are open for you. We just want to do education without overdoing. At Heritage, you are going to be trained to become job creators. At Heritage, we are going to ease the way for you to have foreign scholarships, scholarships within, and of course, for all the young people, by the time you graduate with a driving license, which the school does for you free of charge. And of course, for all the new students, as we said before, you are going to come practically to have a free laptop, free internet connectivity, free t-shirt, free lab jackets for all of those who use the jackets. And we have a host of those free things that we have. So you can believe in us. We are just doing the same thing, but in a very special way.
Thank you for talking to the bottom line.
Thank you very much, Bonnie. Always happy to meet you.
This is The Bottom Line with Onimwa.